Um, Getting from the conversation I had with her on the telephone, a few days went by. And like I said, the phone chat was of a lot of personal nature, what we share with each other. And I remember standing up my mom's front yard. She had a 3-foot-high chain-link fence that surrounded her property. And I believe it was nighttime. At this point, about 8 vehicles come to the house. Black, tint glass Range Rovers drove to the house. And immediately soldiers began to get out of the vehicles. Now, having served in the Army, and I was 20, and at the time I thought, did I do something wrong with my paperwork? What are they doing here? What do they want with me? A woman approached the fence, a blonde lady. And I would say a bit taller than me, maybe about my height, a bit taller. A kind lady, but very strict, in a combat uniform, BDUs. And I'll just briefly go through this in the video. I don't want to go into a lot of details. As I said, I don't want to promote fear or talk about this and say, hey, military abductions are out there, kids, it's a bad thing. I'm not promoting conspiracy. Let me just run through this and that's it. She said to me, hold your position, stay where you are. And I got scared. I thought, oh crap, what have I done? What do you want with me? She said, I'm not answering your questions. Shit, oh, here we go. A lot of vehicles all pulled up. When all of a sudden I noticed they were running through my mom's property. Now, let me just say that prior to this, real quick, I'm in my mom's front yard. I look into mom's front door, the screen door, and I see her sitting on the couch watching TV. All at once, my mother looks up in the ceiling for a minute and does this. And then she falls over on the couch as if she just passed out. I went to run inside to see if she was okay. Before I could get inside, that's when the vehicles began to arrive. Mother is passed out on the couch. At this point, these vehicles arrive to the property. All these soldiers are storming the property. It's like an invasion. We are literally surrounded at this point by an untold number of combat soldiers in battle dress uniforms. I'm aware of them running behind me, running around this side of the street, across the street. They've taken position. The area is surrounded. I don't know the time of night. 10 o'clock at night? I don't know. The woman then says to me, step out of the property. I didn't want to at first. I thought legally if I step out the property, you know, I don't know what this is all about. And then she said, step out of the property now. And I did so. I cooperated. I stood, she said, stand by me. Weird, the video just went. She said, stand by me for a minute. Sorry about that, my camera's going funny. She said, stand by me for a minute, and I did. At this point, one of the vehicles parked a little bit down the street. The door opens up, and out steps a black-haired female about 4 feet tall. I would say she had black hair. At the time, that's what I remember. This is what I remember now, black hair. At first glance, she is an ordinary person. And I thought, why do you need so much? I even joked, I said to her, I said, why do you need so many soldiers for this little female? When I looked again, I noticed she wasn't entirely human. Her eyes are rather large. Beyond that, she had a lot of human look about her. Her outfit reminded me of something retro, like the 1980s, I would say, like Gary Newman's Cars video. Something very Devo, early 80s kind of new wave look. I think it might have been a black outfit with a V cut to it. It was something very, very, I don't know. The outfit was something very, I even thought that's a bit retro. I thought, it really stood out from the soldiers' uniforms. It was a very different looking clothing. I looked at her and immediately we glanced at each other for a moment like this. And I know this is the one I spoke to on the phone. And I had an immediate sense of, oh my God, she's cute. She's so cute. And I thought, oh God, I don't want to see her get hurt. I had the sense that was happening or going to happen. It's like it all went into my head all at once, what was going down. In an attempt to avert the abduction with the Greys and my connection to her and the Greys. Well, I'll get into that in a minute. But it's like it loaded into my mind all at once that what they've done is they've got her. And I'll just say this, but the soldier confirmed it because she said it a bit later in this experience. It's like the girl, I won't give the girl's name away right here, but the hybrid girl somehow made me aware of what was going on, or what was about to happen. That they have the technology to manipulate your memories. The military had some kind of a device like a microwave gun. It looked like something from a dentist office. It was a big cylinder-like thing. It was long, and you held it, and you put it to someone's head, and pow, a magnetic field of some kind. I mean, she was putting this in my head, that I was understanding what this was. And it messes your memories up. It alters them. It dissolves them a bit somehow. It doesn't take the memories, it dissolves them. But the memories are still there. They can come back fully. What she was letting me know right in that instant was what was about to go down. They've got her for one reason. They're going to try to obstruct my connection to the Greys and her and the other hybrids by causing some harm to her. Listen to me carefully. So that when they have harmed her, they then hit her with that device in her head. They give her back to the Greys. The Greys then scan her mind, and they're going to get a confused sense of events, and they're going to think that I hurt her, or that I had some connection to her harm, thus causing a disconnection right there, and preventing any further contact with them. That was the plan. The abduction I experienced with the military that night had one purpose, and I suspect that's what they all do, is to obstruct and contravene the connection that abductees and experiencers have with Greys and hybrids. That's all it is. I'm not pushing a conspiracy theory, but that's exactly what she put in my head. She wanted me to know. And she said that the heart always remembers, it never forgets. And she says, you will remember all this because we love each other very, very much. She had told me on the phone that I'd be meeting her dimensional aspect on this plane later in life. I'd be meeting her. And that she'd be a spiritual leader. That I'd be meeting her aspect. It's hard to explain this as I'm still learning it myself. But her dimensional counterpart on this dimension. And like I said, that's very personal. That I won't discuss, and that connection, that person I have met, I'm not going to get into that. I'm not going to get into that connection with that person. Again, there's a lot of personal stuff here I really don't want to go into on that. I will respect that loving connection with all this. Just not going to go into it. All that went into my head. I didn't want to hug her. She then approaches me. She walked up to me, and she went to hug me. And the soldier lady went to stop that. What are you doing? Went to stop that. And she looked at her and said, "This is okay. He's all right." And and then it was allowed. I held her in my arms. She had thin little arms, larger than normal cranium, jet black, coarse hair. It was long. 4.5 feet tall. She came to about here in my chest. She was hot to the feel. I almost thought she had dolphin-like skin, grayish blue. There was something about the skin that was very smooth. I didn't want to let her go. In that instant, as I was holding her, I was feeling all of the loving... I didn't want to let her go. And she didn't want to let me go either. There's no sense in me trying to edit out the crying part because it wouldn't do any good. I kissed her on her forehead. One moment in a lifetime. One moment to pause. In any lifetime. When you get to hold someone you love very much, who's very special to you. It's like your whole life stops. Everything in your life just means nothing anymore. And you're trembling. And you're doing everything you can, and all you want to do is protect this person. And she said to me in my mind, "You have to let me go now, or they'll hurt you." She said, "You have to not emotionally release." And I said, "What do you mean?" She says, "You have to let me go physically." She said, "We will always be connected. This connection will never be broken." But she said, "You have to let me go for now, physically." She said something about seeing her again. And then she went away from me. And yeah, there was a soldier, a sergeant or some man that was a bit rough with her. And I cried. I said, "Scream, don't hurt her, she has feelings." And he said, "I'll do what I want, she's not a human being." And they hit her head with that thing, and then she went out. And that's when the other soldier informed me that this was to break the connection with them by messing up her mind somehow. I don't know. I felt like I was dying. Watching them. Yeah, they were a bit rough with her. I thought... I could feel everything she was feeling. I could feel every thought, I could feel her fear of them. I couldn't do anything to stop. I couldn't protect her. I'll go to the next video clip.